Hola, buenas. Somos Adrián y Adela.
Hola.
Chicos de la tienda que no debe ser nombrada. Y otro día más, intentando hacer una entrevista con otro actor conocido, James Payton. Pero antes de nada quería agradecer y saber que todos estéis bien, que todos vayáis entrando en las fases estas que según las provincias se van dando. Espero que todos estéis bien, estéis lo mejor posible. Dar las gracias a nosotros. Hemos abierto hace poquito la tienda con un horario más pequeño, más corto, y dar las gracias a todos los que nos han podido visitar, han tenido la suerte de estar cerca y poder visitarnos, darles las gracias de corazón y espero...
Y que su primera salida sea visitarnos,
sí,
pues nos halaga mucho.
Sí, la verdad que nos ha gustado mucho, nos ha puesto muy contentos. Y nada, pues hoy vamos a entrevistar a James Payton, que es el actor que interpreta a Frank Longbottom, que es el padre de Neville, en la Orden del Fénix. Es un actor de cine, teatro y televisión, actor inglés. Y la particularidad de este actor es que ha trabajado con un sinfín de actores muy conocidos, muy conocidos, desde George Clooney, Samuel L. Jackson, Tommy Lee Jones, Matt Damon, más los actores que ya conocéis de Harry Potter. Y nada, espero que os guste, que disfrutéis de la entrevista. Al finalizar la entrevista, porque no sabemos muy bien si él habla algo de castellano, habla un poquito, pero yo creo que no. Va a ser en inglés y, como siempre, al final de la entrevista intentaremos traducir lo mejor posible. Sin más, vamos a intentar localizar, a ver si se pone James en contacto. ¿Qué tal sale?
Oh, look at that. Excellent. It worked. Hey,
Hello. Hi.
how are you?
Hi, James. Hi.
Cool. Yeah.
Good. Good. All right.
How are you?
I
Hola.
think we won it. Yeah. Pretty good.
Do you speak
Yeah.
Spanish?
No. That was it. That was just it.
Solo eso.
Perfect.
Although my French is excellent. Je suis anglais, je ne comprends pas tu. I'm English, I don't understand you. Yeah, I mean, that's what I will say. That's it. But it's, you know. Hello, everybody. Hello.
Well, welcome, James. Thank you for collaborating with us. It's a pleasure to have you with us. We would like to know, how are you and how you're getting on in the lockdown in England?
Well, I've been an actor for over 20 years, so I'm used to being at home a lot.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad. A lot of people have it much worse than I do. You know, it's frustrating because you can't see your friends and touching people consensually, obviously. So that's something that I miss, seeing the people that I love, and that is sort of the big thing. But having said that, you sort of just got to suck it up and deal with it if you can.
Yes.
And I'm trying to keep to a routine and sort of make stupid videos and just try and keep as busy as I can, because it helps me mentally, and it helps. It's just sort of doing what I can do to cheer people up or whatever it may be. But yeah, it's unprecedented for all of us. Probably for the first time, most of us are all in this together, aside from sort of the people at the top who have all the money and power. But how are you two doing? All good?
Well, yeah, we've been now over 70 days with the lockdown.
Wow.
And now we're starting going out by hours. The shops begin opening reduced times.
Yeah.
And we've got to go little by little. I think we're going to have it until the 26th of July.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly, it's not easy, but all we're being asked to do is stay at home, essentially.
Yeah.
So it's each day at a time. I sort of don't think too far ahead. I think, okay, so what am I doing today? Now I've seen all of Netflix. And
Yeah, no.
and his YouTube, all of it, seen everything.
Yes.
Yeah, well, with us as well. We've seen all series, everything as well.
Well, that's good. That's good. It's good because people are sort of taking the time to watch things they may not normally watch, which is that's a sort of a positive. I think it's important to look at the good side of things.
Yes. Well, we received a lot of questions on Facebook and Instagram, so we'll start with the interview.
Yeah, far away.
What did you feel when they gave you the chance of being Frank Longbottom?
I was working on a different movie when they called me, and they said, David wants to see you for this part. And I said, thanks, but I'm busy. And they said, what? But it's Harry Potter. I said, yeah, but I'm still busy. And they said, okay. I'm not right. Clearly. And then they called the following day and said, I don't think you understand. David wants to see you for this. Only you. So can you make it happen? So I spoke to the people in charge of the film that I was doing, and they said, it's fine. You go do your screen test. So we were shooting up in the north of England somewhere, or the East Midlands. So we were doing night shoots. So I did a night shoot and then travelled to Leavesden to do my screen test, which was fine. And then travelled back up to, I think, with the unit and moved to Grimsby on the film that I was on. So then I travelled up to Grimsby to do another night shoot. So I was awake for like 3 days or something, 2 days.
Wow.
Now, I often do my best work when I'm tired. Apparently. It was a sort of for me, it was the actual job itself was a very quick thing. We worked it all out in the rehearsal and the screen test stuff that we'd done, so we sort of knew where we were going. It's only really afterwards that everything sort of seemed to go a bit bonkers. Here we are 16 years later or whatever, and people still want to talk about it, which I'm, forever grateful for, because it gave me so many more opportunities that I'd have had if I hadn't done it. It's
Yes.
And at the time I didn't really meet too many people, too many of the cast, because I was there for such a short period of time. But in that 16 years, I've been very, very fortunate to become good friends with a lot of the actors, which is amazing, because it's a family, which is
Yes.
it's wonderful. So lucky, because I'm not that good. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
It's incredible, yeah. Did you feel proud of your son, Neville Longbottom?
Yeah. I think he's such. Matt is such a good actor, and the scene we sort of had together, sort of very much lends itself to the emotion that they were trying to create with what me and Lisa Wood, who played Alice, did, and then what Matt did. It's tricky because I sort of know Matt a little bit on a personal level, so I'm sort of proud of him as his sort of surrogate father, as a man, because he's such a delightful man. And as for Neville's the other one, isn't he? It could have been all about Neville, which would have meant I'd have been in more movies. But I'm proud. I'm proud of both Matt and Neville, of course.
Do you have? Are you in touch with him?
He lives in the States now with his wife. So only very so often. I haven't seen him for 4 years or so, something like that. But we bump into each other from time to time. But yeah, he's such a lovely man, and super good looking, which he obviously gets from his mum.
We saw a photo of the Order of Fénix. Can you tell us that moment, if they really took the pic in the film?
Oh yeah, it was all rare. I think everybody was there. I'm pretty sure everybody was there on the day. It's such a long time ago now; it's hard to remember. But I'm pretty sure everybody was there. So it was quite a nice little fun sort of afternoon's work, really. But they went and sort of found each piece that they wanted, that David needed to cut it all together. And as I said, we had a conversation in the screen test about what they wanted from me and Lisa, and you know, the love that we obviously had for each other, but also the love we had for Neville, and how we were going to achieve that in such a short space of time. And we sort of came up with this sort of double take that I did back to Alice, back to Lisa. So yeah, it was just a really fun sort of
moment.
Yeah. And then I sort of went away and sort of carried on with my life and didn't, you know, I was like, oh yeah, that's great, you know, it's a Harry Potter movie, it's a big thing, but as I said before, it's very much sort of now looking back, you sort of realise how much it sort of changed things for me, which is bonkers. But I still love it. I still love talking about it. I don't think I'm going to get.
And do you have any good memories making the film?
I think probably the best memories have come afterwards. With the people that I know now from the movies. Probably one of the best bits was when I'd met Michael Gambon years before, and he saw me and he said "Me, you get around, don't you?" So that's quite a sweet memory. And I think being directed by David Yates, who's so good with the actors and is so helpful and kind and considerate. That's a really sort of positive memory. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think your Bogart would be Snape like your son Neville?
I think my Bogart might be more like sort of Newt Scamanders, really.
Yeah.
Working in an office.
Yes.
That's petrifying. Just because I'm quite lazy, really. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a fan of crocodiles. I appreciate them as for what they are, but I wouldn't really particularly want to meet one.
Yeah.
You know, for a while. But yeah, probably an office thing. I'm sort of not. I'm not particularly wired in that direction that I could sit down and whatever it is that people do in offices. I don't know.
Just in all day working.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I like being on the floor, being on set. That's sort of what blows the wind up my skirt, as it were.
Yeah.
Do you keep your magic wand?
Do I keep my...
Did you keep your magic wand?
Oh no, I never had one. Because originally Neville has Frank's wand, but it's broken.
Yes.
And then it was destroyed, so I never got one aside from the one that Neville had, which was it was unfortunately broken. But even if I did, they wouldn't let me keep it. No chance.
No.
I mean, it's an impenetrable fortress, Warner Brothers. You can't get away with anything. It's their property, so it's fine. But sorry, because although having said that, we did get when we finished Fantastic Beasts 2, everybody in the cast and crew got a replica wand as a sort of a keepsake, as a memory, as a gift from production. So I do have a wand, an official.
Oh, right.
But it's I don't know, maybe might be a few hundred of them in the world. But yeah, and I have an rumpant as well. Obviously they're massive creatures, but the original models are something like that.
Yes.
I think there are 3 of those in the world. One of which I have. Because I stole it. I didn't steal it. I had my 40th birthday on the set of Fantastic Beasts, the first Fantastic Beasts. They very, very kindly had Eddie and Colin sign it for me and presented it to me, I think, when we went on our Christmas break on the first movie. So, and everybody clapped and it was all rather lovely.
Oh, very nice.
It's like a family. The whole thing is like a family.
Yes.
Still to this day.
Well, the next question was, did you have the chance of keeping something off any of the sets?
Couldn't probably comment, could I? So I couldn't say yes and I couldn't say no.
Right.
Okay.
But no, my life wouldn't be worth living if I'd taken something and then admitted to it. So I'll leave that in your court. You know, you either believe me or you don't. Whether I have something.
I decide.
Couldn't say.
Well, we did talk to some actors what told us, let's talk some Gringotts coins,
Okay.
a pair of shoes. Yeah, some of a few things.
Sometimes things sort of find their way into your possession purely by accident, not by design, and that happens. And you know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if I had anything, I would definitely give it back next time I was in the studio.
Okay.
Who is your favorite character of Harry Potter?
It's a tricky one. If I sort of scratch away the Longbottom clan, I've got a. There's so many good. You know, Jo's such a good writer, and she's sort of created this universe with such well-rounded characters. It's hard to choose one. Obviously, you know, Dumbledore is a fabulous character, as is McGonagall, as is Snape, as they all are. God, I genuinely don't know. Maybe Dumbledore, because he's such an iconic character, and now he's been obviously played by Jude Law. You know, I've worked with Jude. I think the first time we worked together was on the holiday back in 2006. So I've known Jude as a colleague for years, and he was just as excited as anybody else when he was cast as Dumbledore. I remember his first day. We were just sort of talking about what the scene was and what he was gonna do and where he needed to be for it. And he was like a little boy. He was as excited as you or I would be, because he loves it. Yeah, he loves it as much as everybody else, and his screen test was incredible. He nailed it totally. I remember sort of sitting there watching it, going, "There you go, that's it." So good.
That's cool. Which house, Hogwarts house, does James belong to?
Well, I did the thing on Pottermore when it was Pottermore, and I thought, crikey, what if I'm not in Gryffindor? Because, you know, Frank's in Gryffindor, and you sort of think, well, if my character is, then I have to be. So I did the old tippity tap test, and it turns out that Frank is in Gryffindor, and so am I.
Oh,
So it was a relief.
fantastic.
And then I thought, well, I have to find out what my Patronus is. And I was thinking it was going to be a fighter jet or a tiger or something really, really cool. That's what I was thinking.
And what was it?
But it was something else. It was something else entirely, in fact. And I don't mean to disparage what it is, because I'm sure those particular creatures are very intelligent and clever and all that sort of thing. But it wasn't what I was hoping for. So, yeah, it was a rat. I mean, really? I get it, but it's not a stag, is it? Or, you know, I'd have taken it like a tapir or something. Something just a little more, you know, exciting. Good in a fight.
Can you tell us about working with David Yates?
Yeah. So I've known David since Order of the Phoenix, and as I said before, I think what's wonderful about David is the way he is with the actors. But when he's talking to you and he's explaining sort of what he wants and what he wants from you. It's not a. It's done in such a kind way. But it's an incredibly supportive place to be when you're with David, and he's sort of the head of the family on set, but nobody is. You never get the sense that anybody's beneath him. It's very much, it very much feels equal. And if a good idea comes from the person on their first day to the person who's been there 30 years, it's a good idea. It's just very, very supportive. As is Yvonne, his wife, who is just the most glamorous person that I know. She's fabulous. Properly. If you go to the dictionary, look up the word fabulous, there's a picture of Yvonne Yates. She's as delightful as David, and they're both wonderful human beings, actually. Really wonderful. Can't speak highly enough of them, although I have tried.
Well, everybody talks marvellous about him.
Yeah. And rightly so, because he's such an affable man. I think kind is the sort of one word that I would choose to use.
Yes.
He's just genuinely kind. And that's rare. Some would say that's rare in show business. Some would say, I wouldn't say that.
James, which is your favorite Harry Potter film?
Order of the Phoenix, because that's the one I'm in. I mean, I'd love to be one of those actors that said, well, I think they've all got something to say for themselves, and they're all, fine pieces of filmmaking. But I'm in one of them, so I'm choosing that one. I'm not going to be one of those kind of actors who actually looks at which one is genuinely the best movie. I'm going to go on with the one I was in, because I was only in one. So I've got no choice. And my hands are sort of tied in that regard. I have to choose Order of the Phoenix. On a personal level, because it changed my life. Mostly. Yeah. Bonkers.
Did you make good friends from the magical world?
Yeah. There's a lot of people that I know, from the cast in the Potter cast, who I consider the best people, or some of my best friends in the world. That I'm really close to, and that I have love for, and of course in the crew as well, because we've all been working in movies for years and years and years, and particularly now we're in the sort of Fantastic Beasts world. I know a lot of people from other movies that I've done in the crew, so it's like hanging around with your friends and family. And it's difficult because on a movie set you're going to be with 150 other people every day, not just sort of all shooting crew and cast, and you can't take everybody with you after the movie's over. You have to sort of
select.
Not consciously, not sort of psychopathically. But there are several people that from both the cast and crew that I consider, and I hope they consider, that we have a bond, that we have a friendship, which is lovely. And obviously all the rest of the people that you see every day, and when you go back to do the next movie or whatever it is, that if they ask you, then there's sort of an element of, it's like going back to school. So like the next year of school, it's like going back to Hogwarts. Because you're sort of catching up with people, saying, what have you been doing? What's going on? What's going on in your life? People have had children and got married and got divorced, and all the sort of everything in life happens, and then we meet up every so often and make another movie, and we're all close. We're all very close. The people that I love know who they are.
Yeah. You also served in the stand-in for Dan Folger and Colin Farrell. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah. So I did a movie with David called Tarzan. Okay. Oh, sorry. They asked me to cover Christoph Waltz. So I did that, and then the following year we did the first Fantastic Beasts movie. So I work as a stand-in, which means we watch the rehearsals, watch the sort of rehearsal with all the actors, and then I have certain characters that I cover. So then I go and cover Dan for the rehearsal, so we can set up the lights and the cameras and all the moves, and the same for Colin and for Johnny and for Jude in the second one. And because I have or at least they think I have a certain skill set, because we've got more than one unit at any one point working. So sometimes we don't have an actor that we might need for a certain scene. So then I step in for them and work with the other actors, but me pretending to be Grindelwald or whoever.
Yeah.
And then until we can sort of get Johnny from that unit over to this unit to get his coverage of stuff. So it's it's sort of an unknown job.
Yes.
Lots of people think, oh, you just stand there. Yeah. It's sort of it can be quite, you're sort of, because you're seeing everything, you're right in the middle of everything. So people often come to you and say, where do you go after this? What's the move then? So it's quite an involved job. It's really paying attention for sort of 10 hours a day.
Wow.
Which is, I've been doing that for a lot. I've been doing that since the 1990s. So it's great for me. And of course, what it means is that you're sort of hanging around with some great actors over the years. From, I covered Robert Downey Jr. twice on the Sherlock Holmes movies, Jude on Fantastic Beasts, obviously, and Christoph Waltz, and a whole mess of different actors down the years. So, when you're working up close and personal with these people, it's an incredibly valuable learning experience to see how they do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an amazing sort of side gig to have. It means I don't have to work in an office or anything like that. It means I can stay around, which is sort of what I want. Because again, I'm quite lazy. I don't really want to have to get a proper job. I'd rather just muck about with a wand. Honestly, it's probably I remember when Credence in the first movie used to sort of turn into the Obscurial and he's sort of whooshing around the New York streets. We're covering Colin and Catherine, me and my colleague, my friend Amy. So we're sort of doing the moves for camera, and every so often we're having this sort of wand fight. You're looking at each other going, "This is ridiculous. What a wonderful look. We're twatting about the backlot here at Leavesden, pretending to be wizards, and it's a privilege. I mean, it's not bad, is it? I mean, they're all the worst job in the world. It's brilliant. It's I still love doing it after all these years, after 21 years or so.
I think it's great.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And it's where I met Wally, Wallace and Mond, on the first Fantastic Beasts movie. And I know you guys spoke to Wally. And now we have a show that we do at Comic-Cons and so forth called Order of the Improv, where we have an improv show that we take around, that we took to Ohio last year. We've done it in Manchester, in Peterborough. So it all sort of comes back to the wizarding world sometimes.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows everybody. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing ever.
You were an aura of the Ministry of Magic in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Did you like that job, or would you prefer the different one in that world?
I mean, there was a lot of paperwork.
Yes.
And they all have to dress the same. So, it's not a bad job. Sometimes you get to go and have a scrap. You get your one day and you start doing the old Expelliarmus business, and that's great fun. but much of it is office based. I think if I could have any job in the wizarding world, I mean, driving the night bus sounds quite fun, doesn't it? That's all fun. Squeezing through places. I don't know. I mean, there's so many choices. Like in real life, there's a lot of choices of jobs that you can do, or you can learn to do, or you can train to do, or whatever it is. Driving the bus might be. It may not be a long-term career move for me, but it might be quite fun to do it for a couple of weeks. Just to sort of whiz up and down, sort of really put your foot down with that great big old bus. So yeah, maybe I'll do that.
Yeah. Where do you feel more comfortable? Acting in movies, theatre, or for commercials?
Movies.
Movies.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you a story that I tell quite a lot. Because it might help explain why I am how I am. So in 1988, the 2nd of April, my father died. Very sad. It was a long time ago, and I'm all right with it. But he died in the morning, and in the afternoon, I was sort of absent-mindedly watching television. A black and white movie came on. It was made in 1950, so 25 years before I was born. And the movie was called Francis and starred an actor called Donald O'Connor, who was in Singing in the Rain. And I'm watching this old black and white movie, and it's about a talking mule. It was a series of movies, this talking mule, talking donkey, called Francis. And I'm watching it sort of in the middle of, this sort of bafflement of grief and all that sort of thing, and I find myself laughing. I sort of caught myself saying, how am I laughing? The worst thing I can imagine has just happened and I'm laughing. That's madness. But it made me think that I wanted to do that, because that sort of took me out of my grief. That moment, that even for a brief moment, it took me out of where I was at mentally as this, as a 12-year-old boy. And I thought, crikey, I want to do that. Because if I can do something that might help another 12-year-old boy or girl, or however old they are, child, be able to step out of that horror, that even for a moment, that's got to be worth doing, isn't it? But, I grew up in Cheltenham in Gloucestershire, which is known for national hunt racing. It's not really known for the masses of film work. Yeah. And I didn't know anybody in film. I didn't have any family in film. Although apparently my grandmother sort of dabbled, I'm told, sort of in an amp dram, which probably goes some way to explaining why we don't know who my grandfather was. She's dead in time. Outrageous. So I went through my education, the GCSEs, the A levels, and I thought, oh God, but I want to act, but how do I? But I want to do movies. That's what I want to do, because I sort of grew up on them after, prior to my father dying and post. This is the thing that I want to do. This is the thing that I want to do. And then I sort of went to university and did a degree that I wasn't particularly interested in. And while I was there, towards the end of my time there, I started sort of taking little acting jobs here and there. And I finished university. So I was at university in Bristol, and then when I finished, I moved back to my mum's house. I remember sort of being on the bus thinking, well, I sort of need to be in London, don't I, for this? If this is what I'm serious about, I have to go to London. So I moved to London, and have been here since 99 or 2000 or whatever. And then just started saying yes to things. And I still say yes to things, but sometimes I say no.
Depends what.
I remember being on the set of the Captain America movie, the first Avenger, and I'm sort of in the wings waiting for my cue to come on, dressed as Adolf Hitler, with these incredible boots, that I could get on by myself, but I couldn't get off by myself. These are the amazing. I had a dresser called Mark Holmes, who's a friend of mine. So he had to help me get out of the boots. But I remember being in the wings about the Hackney Empire in London, about to sort of go on and pull my acting face. I just had this sort of moment saying, I'm just a boy from a small town in the West Country, and I'm just about to be in this Hollywood movie, this Marvel, this bonkers. So it's really been sort of a lot of busking and saying yes, and certainly in the early days, and some would say now, being utterly terrible in things. But as the years go by, maybe getting a little bit better, enough so I can watch myself without sort of wanting to pull my own eyes out. So now I'm sort of, and also you know how it is when you get older, you sort of give less about what other people think. That sort of comes with age. You just go, as a youngster, you might sort of worry about what people think of you, or whatever. But as you get older, you sort of start letting it go. So you go, I don't really give up what you think. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of a liberating thing, actually. That you go, you can, by all means, because not everybody's going to like you, and that's fine. But yeah, it's quite liberating. Sort of suddenly wake up in the morning and say, I don't care really if people like it. I'm not doing it. If they don't like it, it's not for them. If they don't like me, then that's okay too. I'm a ray of sunshine, me. I'm still sort of plodding along and sort of doing all the jobs that I always do, and trying to enjoy things and provide
and making joy for people.
Yeah, if I can, and have fun, because I've been on plenty of movie sets that these are some, I won't mention any names, but they're big movies, with lots and lots and lots of money behind, and yet the director's walking around like you don't want to be there. I'm thinking, but you sort of win the prize. You've got all of the toys. You've got everything you could ever wish for in terms of the equipment, in terms of the people, and yet you're running about like you don't want to be there. We're making a movie. It's entertainment, regardless of even if it's a dark thriller or a dark drama about something incredibly serious. It's still making a movie. We're grown-ups playing in the toy set. So I think, well, if you can't have fun doing that, then maybe that job's not for you. But I don't know. Maybe it's because I have hidden shallows, perhaps.
Maybe.
Definitely.
You were Hitler in Captain America: The First Avengers. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah. Well, it was funny because I'd worked with Joe Johnston. He was the director of Captain America a couple of years prior on The Wolfman as a stand-in for Anthony Hopkins. And when they came over to do the first Captain America here, Joe wanted as many of the same people from the crew in the movie, and obviously Hugo Weaving as well as in both of them. And so they called me and said, do you fancy joining in? And I said, yeah, absolutely, great, love to. And Joe knew I was an actor, and we got on perfectly well on the movie, and sort of enjoyed each other's company. And I knew a lot of the crew, obviously. And so I go in and I'm covering different actors on that movie. And then they say to me, oh, do you want to audition for something? Just like a one-liner. So I said, yeah, great, love to. So they put me on tape and I did this little audition, this sort of one-line vital signs normal act, something like that. They showed it to Joe and and Joe said, oh yeah, great, James can do that. So then the process is that I go to I have a fitting and a haircut and a sort of a shave. So I had a 1940s suit put on, had a shave just down to a sort of moustache, with all that sort of, hiya, neighbour, with that sort of slick hair 40s thing. And then you go for a show and tell. So you're in this sort of outfit, and you go to the director and you show them what the character's going to look like, and they say that's good or change something. So I walked on set to show Joe. Of course, everybody in the crew started saying, "Ha ha ha! You look like a Nazi. In particular, you look like Hitler." I was like, "Okay, thanks." Yeah. So then I showed Joe, and he sort of okays it. And a couple of weeks later, they come to me and they said, "How would you feel about playing Adolf Hitler?" Now, if Marvel come to you, I mean, Marvel was obviously different back then, but if they come to you and say, "How do you feel about playing Hitler in one of the biggest sort of universes ever made?" Don't turn it down, do you? I learned my lesson from Potter. You say yes. So I said yes. And then they got me in the outfit and the boots and sort of we shaved this piece down, so I just had this real thing. And again, went to a show and tell with Joe, who thought it was hilarious. And then I knew the scenes that we were going to do were coming up, and to their credit, they sort of let me get on. They let me get on with what I was going to do. They sort of let me make a choice about how I wanted to do it. So I went back to sort of YouTube and Googled some of Hitler's most famous speeches to sort of try and get his mannerisms and how he was, but then sort of amp it up so it looked more ridiculous, which is something. And we had some dance rehearsals. I'm no dancer, clearly. And then we got into the shooting of the stuff that we needed to do, and they seemed very happy with what I was doing, which was marvellous. But of course, the thing that people don't realise is that I was walking around with a Hitler moustache for a month in real life. So it's one thing being on set where everybody knows who you're supposed to be, and so it's just you get used to seeing it because it's just a sort of familiarity. But it's quite another thing when you're going to the shops, sort of trying to do that or wear a scarf and so you can see people sort of pulling their children away, sort of close to them. And some people laugh, and some people are just like horrified. So if anybody asked, I used to say that I was doing a Chaplin thing. There was a Chaplin retrospective thing we were doing. But I remember the day. So once I was wrapped on the movie, then you get something called Russia's clearance, which means they've seen the bits back and they're happy with it. So you're released from your contract. So then I could actually shave.
Yeah.
It was quite an experience to walk around with the real thing.
Yeah, I'd think so.
The sort of the movie. I think it was the second or third Marvel movie, but probably the first one in the timeline. And it was 10. We made that movie in 2010. It came out in 2011. And we knew it was a big thing. We were like, Captain America, is that going to play anywhere else than America? Because we didn't know. I'm English. I didn't know how that's going to translate. But Chris Evans did such a good job of it. Everybody did such a good job. But now it's Marvel is massive.
Yeah.
So it's quite a nice thing to be sort of part of that universe. Because it means so much to people, and I'd sort of like to think that maybe I managed to, give people a laugh, sort of in that movie, and that's quite. It's sort of the whole reason for doing it is to, make people feel something. They laugh, cry, or be sickened by my performance or whatever it may be. It's happened, but it's nice. It's nice to sort of be able to. It's nice to be able to sort of pass on what I wanted to pass on when I first decided this is what I wanted to do. And now, weirdly, sort of since Captain America, now apparently I play real people, or people who were real. because I shot a movie last year with Nick Moran, who is a friend of mine who's in Harry Potter, and obviously Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. So Nick was a very, very intelligent, sharp, on the money sort of chap. And we were doing a Comic-Con in Watford. And I'd met Nick before, so we were sort of chummy. And he's looking at the pictures that I signed. He said, "James, I reckon you could do Tony Blair, couldn't you?" I said, I don't know, I guess so. Well, people have referred to me, people have sort of said, "You look like Tony Blair." For years, which you go, "Great, thanks very much." And he said, "I need a Tony Blair for my movie." And I said, "All right." So he got my agent to. They sent my agent the sides, which are the bits of script. Say, "I want James to do a screen test." I was like, "Okay, I'm happy to. It's nice to be considered for such. The hard part is getting in the room. That's the difficult bit." So I put myself on tape and I did the scene, and they sent it off to Nick. And then I get a call from my agent saying Nick wants to see you today. He's in Watford. Now I don't. I live 20 minutes, half an hour away, just at the top end of London. So I went over there, and they were doing recce's for the movie. I went there and had lunch, and he said, we had to talk about what it was that he wanted and all that sort of thing. And he said, "Look, I'm not going to lie to you, we've offered it to somebody else, a big name actor." He's like, "He's not going to do it though." So once he turns it down this afternoon, it's yours. I was like, "Oh, okay." So the next day I get a call from my agent saying, they want to make you an offer. Well, this is the offer, in fact. And then we sort of had to go through the process of me turning into Tony Blair, which is bonkers. Tony Blair from 1997. So the movie is called Creation Stories, which deals with Alan McGee, who co-founded Creation Records, who, long story short, discovered Oasis. Which is obviously a massive thing back in the sort of mid-90s. It's based on Alan's book, and it's scripted by Dean Kavanagh and Irving Welsh. Irving Welsh, obviously, he did Trainspotting, and is one of the funniest scripts I've ever read. Of course, in the real story is that they went to Downing Street. You remember that when there was that Britpop thing and all the sort of Oasis people went to Downing Street and met Tony Blair and all the cabinet and so forth. Well, we sort of recreated that, which happened, and then they got invited to Chequers. Alan and Susan's wife got invited to Chequers with Tony and Cherie. So, yeah, and then something else happened, but you'll have to see the movie to find out what. So I had to have fake teeth molds done. So this great big Tony Blair smile, a sort of a 90s mullet, and spray to cover the old bald spot. And yeah, it was. So it's this sort of playing another real person who, Tony Blair's a real person who is still alive. So I wanted to try and make, and it's a sort of a heightened version, shall we say, but still based in sort of realism. So yeah, now apparently I play real people now. Don't know who next. I'm not doing Boris Johnson.
No.
Sí, una pregunta. ¿Qué papel le gustaría hacer que aún no le han ofrecido?
He asked, what role would you like to do? Well, they haven't offered you yet.
I know the answer to this. So I'd love to play Richard Hannay in the 39 Steps, which Hitchcock made in the 1930s. It's been made as a movie 4 or 5 times, but I know the book, and it's a novel by John Buchan. And the 39 Steps change what the 39 Steps are. Seems to change whichever movie you're watching, but it's sort of, Hitchcock obviously went on to make North by Northwest, which is sort of a similar vibe, this sort of chase, exciting, lots of people in suits, being terribly amusing. I'd love to play. I'd love to play Richard Hannay. If you don't know the 39 Steps, I highly recommend it as a novel and as a book. I think it was made in the 1950s as well. Good version, funny version. But interestingly, there's a documentary that's being made about my life called "Who is James Payton?" I know. That followed me around last year in my year in the things that I did, from Comic Cons to creation stories to auditioning for stuff to all the sort of things that I got up to last year. And that's essentially me being me. And that's probably the hardest one. That's probably the hardest role.
Yes.
Because I don't know who I am. I don't know if there's a real person lurking in here somewhere, or if I'm some sort of knockoff Peter Sellers. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm going to die so soon. So yeah, that'll be coming out this year. Who is James Payton?
Sale este año.
Yeah. Just in the front.
Have you ever been to Spain?
I have. The last time I was in Spain was, I think, 3 years ago. I was in Almeria, where they used to make all those spaghetti westerns. Back in the day, we made a movie there called The Bounty Killer. I knew that. So it's a local company and a bunch of guys in Spain who make these sort of westerns, and they've been trying to get me into one of their westerns for a few years, which, because of my schedule, I couldn't do it. Sorry, DHL. I think we were about to start the second Fantastic Beasts, so I had a week prior where I was free, and I thought, oh, that's great, I'll have a little sort of rest before we start. And then they phoned me up and said, can you fly out on Monday, shoot Tuesday, and then fly back Wednesday for this sort of one scene, playing this sort of horribly nefarious character called Ezekiel, who is playing cards with the lead and cheats and gets shot. So yeah, that was the last time I was in Spain. It was roasting. I came back with it. I was gloriously tan. That was the last time. I've been to Barcelona and Malaga when I was young. I was a young man. But yeah, I think it's been coming up for 3 years since I was last in Spain. So if you're making a movie in Spain and you need a sort of a actor, then I'm available. Speak to my agent. Let's talk money.
Okay. And the last question. Can you tell us about your next project?
I think I did. So yeah, creation stories will be post-lockdown, I imagine. Because obviously at the moment people don't, there's a lot of movies that are waiting to be released. So they're just in the sort of the final stages of locking the final stages of locking that movie so they're happy with it. Because Danny Boyle is executive producer on that. So stay tuned for that one. I mean, it's got Ewan Bremner in it. It's got all of sort of Nick's friends. It's sort of got a train spotting vibe to it. Obviously, fantastic music, fantastic cast, and me. So that's probably the big one. And then obviously the documentary, Who is James Payton?
Yes.
They're just in the final stages of post-production now. So I'll be seeing it very, very soon when the director's happy, because I've said, look, it's your movie. You make the movie you want to make and show me when you're finished. Otherwise, I'll be all vain and like, no. So that'll be sort of slowly being released over the next year. From sort of on the sort of the festival circuit, on certain TV channels and so forth. I'm really excited for people to see it. I'm excited to see it for both of those things. I think I'm also doing a couple of low budget films at the moment that obviously are now on hiatus because we don't know, when we're going to
What's
get out.
happening?
Yeah, I've got a clue. So they're nice little scripts that friends of mine have said, would you like to be in this thing? And I've said, I've read it and gone, yeah, I'd love to do that. It's great. Because it's about doing things that are interesting. Even if there's very little money behind it, sort of having no money when you're making a movie makes you, or can make you, more creative. Whereas on a big movie, you might throw money at it, but a problem. On a small thing, you don't have the money, so you have to find ways around. And that to me is interesting.
Yes.
There's a couple of little things that sort of I need to. I think I've got 2 days left. 2 days left on Georgina. Hi, George. 2 days left on one movie, and then another week or so left on the other one. And I'll get to it. We'll get to it at some point. We'll have bushy beards by that point, and but it'll be fine. We'll fix it in post. So yeah, it's all. Yeah, it's good, and we're sort of all looking forward to getting back to the Comic-Con world when it's safe to do so, and get back to the Wizarding World, Fantastic Beasts 3, and all that sort of thing. So yeah, this is a pause in events, and I don't know how things are going to change on a day-to-day basis, sort of in making movies, and whether those changes will stay or what's going to happen. But we sort of have to roll with the punches and see what happens, like for all of us.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that we're sort of all finding ways to stay in contact and tell our stories and it's great. I love the fact that I can just stay at home and I can talk to people all over the world. It's wonderful.
It's fantastic, yeah.
I mean, obviously I'd rather we could travel, but at this moment, then it is what it is, and you sort of have to put your personal issues aside if you can, and do what's right for all of us.
Yeah.
Somebody says to me that the best way to think of it is if walk around like you have it, and walk around like everybody else has it. But if you don't feel safe, you can say no. You're allowed to say no, and hopefully you'll get the support. But I mean, who's to say? But the reality is that we're all together in this, and maybe if there's a good thing to come out of this whole thing, even though we've lost millions of people, and I've lost friends to this thing, if there is a good thing to come out of it, it's
Nos fue el tiempo encima, se nos vino el tiempo encima. Vamos a intentar despedirnos con James, si se conecta, y si no, bueno, pues en breve traduciremos la entrevista con él. A ver si...
No, aún no.
Aún no.
Espera, pues sí.
Nada, espero que tal os ha parecido, si os ha gustado. Bueno, nosotros intentamos todos los días buscar un tiempo para poder hacer estas cosas, y bueno, de momento van surgiendo actores que quieren hacer este tipo de entrevista, y nada, y les gusta, la verdad, y nos gusta a nosotros también enseñársela. Pues a ver si nos podemos despedir.
Sobre aceite, a ver. No.
Oh. Pues no sé si conecta o no. Si no, le mandamos un mensaje. Bueno, empezamos con
si se conecta, pues
hablamos con él unas últimas palabras y nos despedimos como teníamos que hacerlo. Nada, pues le preguntamos cómo se sintió cuando le dieron el papel a James Payton, el de Frank Longbottom, y nos comentó que...
Nos dijo que él en ese momento estaba ya haciendo otra película y le avisaron de que David Yates quería hablar con él para un papel, y él en ese momento dijo, bueno, ya estoy haciendo un papel, no me interesa. Y volvieron a insistir, mira que David Yates tiene un papel para ti, y hizo la prueba y se lo dieron, le dieron el papel. Y les dejaron que él acabara la película que estaba haciendo para poder después incorporarse en el de Harry Potter. Y que le ayudó muchísimo tener ese papel, pues que le ha ayudado en el futuro.
Le preguntamos si se sentía orgulloso de su hijo, de Neville Longbottom,
y nos dijo que sí, tanto en la película como él
como persona, que era un actor increíble.
Y que fue una escena muy bonita la que sale, con Neville, y que Neville actualmente vive en Estados Unidos con su mujer, y dijo que es actualmente muy guapo como su madre.
Sí. Hoy, me parece que hoy subimos una foto en un post en Instagram de la Orden del Fénix, y le preguntamos por esa foto si fue real, si todo ese elenco de actores que estaban reunidos para sacar esa foto.
O si fue montaje.
O si fue montaje, correcto. Y
nos dijo que sí, que fue una tarde muy entretenida y divertida, porque estaban todos allí, todos preparados para hacer la foto.
La foto.
Sí. O sea que es real.
También le preguntamos si ha tenido buenos recuerdos del rodaje de la Orden del Fénix, y nos comentó...
¿Cómo? Los buenos momentos.
Buenos momentos, sí.
Vale. Nos dijo que sí que tuvo muchos buenos momentos, y nos dijo que incluso vinieron después de haber grabado la película mejores momentos por las personas que él conoció.
Hizo amistades,
y de haber trabajado con David Yates.
También le preguntamos que el Bogart de su hijo, de Neville, es Snape. Le preguntamos si el suyo cuál sería, o si es el mismo.
Nos dijo que su Bogart sería trabajar en una oficina como Newt Scamander, que le horroriza pensar que si él tuviera que trabajar en una oficina, que se le vendría encima. Y nos comentó también que no le gustaban los cocodrilos. También nos comentó que había hecho un test de su Patronus.
De su Patronus.
Y que estuvo ahí cliqueando y respondiendo las respuestas, y dijo, me tiene que salir un león,
un tigre,
un animal de estos potentes, y tal, y le salió una rata. Sí, una rata.
Algo divertido. Le preguntamos si todos los actores tienen su varita, si él se pudo quedar con su varita.
Nos comentó que supuestamente esa varita lo iba a tener Neville, pero que fue destruida en la historia. Entonces él no tiene varita ahora mismo. Lo que sí nos comentó que cuando acabó de rodar Animales Fantásticos 2, regalaron a todos los trabajadores, actores, todos, una varita de recuerdo, que debe haber 15.000 en todo el mundo, y lo tiene. Y también le regalaron una maqueta.
¿Una maqueta?
Y también lo tiene.
Qué bueno. También le preguntamos, porque todos los actores, algunos actores nos han comentado que en las películas donde ellos han actuado, pues se han quedado con alguna cosa.
Nos contestó que no puede decir ni que sí, ni que no, que nos lo deja nuestra imaginación. Que hay veces que cosas se van, desaparecen.
Y más en una película de magia, donde hay muchos magos.
Que nos lo deja a nuestro criterio.
Yo creo que cualquiera de nosotros, si estuviera en ese momento rodando con una película,
yo creo que te tiene.
Siempre, yo creo que cualquier recuerdo, aunque pequeñito que sea, yo creo que cualquier persona cogería algo. Sí,
algo.
O te llevas el libro con todas las fotos de todos tus compañeros y vas diciendo, fírmame aquí, fírmame aquí, fírmame aquí. Seguro, yo lo haría. Le preguntamos cuál es su personaje favorito de las películas o de los libros.
Y dijo que era difícil responder, pero que quedaba con Dumbledore. No solo por
hay muchos buenos,
sí.
pero que él quizás el que más,
sí.
Dumbledore.
Y no solo por el personaje que lo vivía, sino como él, porque él ha trabajado anteriormente con él, como él como persona, muy cómico, muy buen compañero, pero después cuando actúa lo vive como un niño.
También le preguntamos a James a qué casa pertenece, no como Frank, perdón, sino
que
como
James. Y nos
Payton.
dijo que hizo, el test y le tocó Gryffindor.
Qué bueno.
O sea que es en vida real y en ficción.
Y en ficción. También le preguntamos, como a casi todos los actores que han trabajado con este director, cómo es trabajar con David Yates. Y como todos nos han dicho que es increíble, o sea, que es un director que te deja mucha libertad, te deja expresarte tú en el papel.
Y lo mejor es cómo él se comporta con los actores, les preguntan ¿qué has hecho hoy? Se interesa por cada uno. Dijo que nos comentó que su mujer, que era una bellísima persona. O sea que los dos, muy bien. Y que David Yates era como un cabeza de familia. Se preocupaba por todo el mundo, pero también les daba libertad a que ellos se expresaran, para ver qué era lo que ellos podían demostrar.
Le preguntamos cuál era de la saga, cuál era la película que más le gusta. Y como no dijo que era
Harry Potter y la orden del fénix, porque es el que sale él. Lógicamente dijo que no va a ser hipócrita, que es el que sale él, es el que le gusta.
Justo, yo también, yo diría lo mismo. En la que he trabajado es la que más me gustaría. Y le preguntamos si hizo buenos amigos en el tiempo que estuvo rodando la película.
Y nos dijo que en todas las películas que estuvo rodando, Harry Potter, el de Capitán América, todos, ha sacado muy buenos amigos. Y los considera como las mejores personas del mundo.
Sí, porque, yo creo que
como una familia.
Es un actor que, como bien os comentaba al comienzo de la entrevista, del directo, ha tenido la suerte de trabajar con muchísimos actores que yo creo que casi todos hemos visto, como Samuel L. Jackson, Neville Jones, George Clooney, Matt Damon, y muchísimos que me olvido dentro de su larga carrera. Y la verdad yo creo que, no sé, Colin Farrell también estuvo con él. Debe ser muy interesante el poder hacer amistad con todos ellos.
Sí. Y haber trabajado con ellos.
Le preguntamos también porque nos llamó mucho la atención, no sabíamos que había sido sustituto de Dan Fogler y Colin Farrell en Animales Fantásticos y
Los Crímenes de Grindelwald también estuvo.
Animales Fantásticos y Dónde encontrarlos y Crímenes de Grindelwald. No sabíamos que estuvo en la 2. Y dijo que sí.
Sí, que estuvo con David Yates haciendo trabajo de cámaras, que si las luces, eso, y los actores no están ahí todo el día. Entonces hay escenas que a lo mejor no hace falta que esté ese actor, entonces lo sustituye él. Entonces él ha sustituido a el Muggle, Dan Fogler y Colin Farrell.
Qué bueno.
Y que es muy interesante, le gustó. Y ha hecho ese mismo trabajo en muchas otras películas.
Le preguntamos si le gustó ser auror o si le hubiera gustado otro tipo de profesión dentro del mundo mágico.
Y dijo que auror es trabajo de oficina.
Que no.
Que de vez en cuando saca la varita y un conjuro, pero que es mucho trabajo de oficina. Que él de escoger sería el conductor del bus noctámbulo. Que a lo mejor una semana se cansaba, pero que escoge ese. Ese le gustó.
Le preguntamos dónde se sentía más cómodo trabajando, ya que es actor de teatro, de cine y de televisión, anuncios, hace de todo. Y nos dijo que en las películas
En las películas, sí.
Que le gusta, yo creo que le gusta entretener. De por sí es una persona muy...
Por la historia que nos contó, nos contó que su padre murió de cáncer cuando él tenía 12 años. Y ese mismo día por la tarde, él estaba viendo una película clásica, creo que dijo el actor de Cantando bajo la lluvia. estaba haciendo una película, no me acuerdo ahora el título. Y en ese momento, él viendo la película, estaba inmensa la película y se empezó a reír. Y dijo, ostras, ¿cómo estoy riéndome? Cuando acaba de fallecer mi padre, y dijo, eso es lo que quiero hacer. Actuar y gente que me necesite, ¿sabes? Hacerse olvidar de sus problemas. Entonces fue ahí con 12 años donde se dio cuenta que quería ser actor. Me parece una historia bonita. No fue fácil, pero...
Pero bueno, hizo lo que le
él
gustó.
quiso, sí, en ese momento.
También no solo ha hecho películas, no solo hizo Orden del Fénix, hizo un montón de películas, entre ellas también el mundo de Marvel. Hizo 2 veces un mismo papel. Hizo de Hitler, que le preguntamos por ese papel. Tanto lo hizo en Capitán América, el primer Vengador, y en
Monuments Men,
con George Clooney y Matt Damon. Samuel L. Jackson. Y hizo los dos el mismo papel de Hitler. Y le preguntamos sobre ese papel, cómo fue.
Nos comentó que él al principio solo iba a ayudar. Él no iba para ese papel. Entonces lo miraban y dijeron, vamos a hacerte ahí una prueba. Y al final le cortaron el
bigote.
Le dejaron
el rabillo que tenía como Chaplin, como...
Lo vistieron, dijo que se puso unas botas que él se puso perfectamente, pero que después necesitó a alguien que le ayudara a sacarlos porque no los daba sacado. Y nos contó que al final decidieron que él hiciera el papel de Hitler, pero que claro, que no le dejaban afeitárselo. Entonces estuvo un mes yendo al súper, haciendo su vida normal por Londres con eso. Entonces a veces salía con bufanda para taparse y eso, y que había madres incluso que apartaban a sus hijos porque
parecía extraño.
Entonces, y a veces para justificarse decía que estaba haciendo una película de Chaplin. Porque da vergüenza decir que era de
Hitler.
y eso, y le ofrecieron el papel y bueno.
¿Y que le gustó? Bueno,
sí.
que le pareció...
Además fue una parte cómica.
Sí, a ver, tanto los dos, yo creo que los dos papeles, no recuerdo muy bien exactamente cómo son los papeles de Hitler, pero yo creo que
toque cómico,
tanto en Capitán América como en Monument Men tenía. Y yo creo que
y después nos comentó,
James es perfecto para hacer comedia.
Y después nos comentó que en un Comic Con un director de cine estaba allí y le dijo que qué le parecía hacer de Tony Blair. Y dijo, bueno, si tú me ves, pues probamos. Y nada, quedó en llamarlo, lo llamó, hizo las pruebas y sale en otra película como Tony Blair. Y dijo que si le quieren llamar para Boris Johnson, que no.
que rehúsa el papel.
Que no.
También le preguntamos de los papeles que aún no le han ofrecido, cuál es el que le gustaría que le ofrecieran. Y comentó que alguno de Hitchcock, puede ser.
De Alfred Hitchcock, el de 39 escalones. La película. Ese es un papel que le gustaría hacer.
Le gustaría realizar.
Sí.
Que es algo que quizás...
Incluso dijo que era tan buena que nos recomendaba que leyéramos la novela. Sí, que era muy buena.
También le preguntamos si había venido a España alguna vez y nos dijo que sí, que vino 3 veces.
Sí.
A lo largo de su vida.
A Málaga, Barcelona.
Almería y Barcelona.
Y que Almería era para grabar...
un spaghetti western, ¿no? En una zona de... Bueno, donde...
Sí, con productores españoles. Él estaba grabando en otro sitio y le dieron el papel y simplemente tuvo que viajar donde estaba, a Almería, grabar y volverse. Y dijo que era para jugar a las cartas, como un vaquero, hacer trampas, lo disparaban y volvió. Dijo que fue una muy bonita visita a España. Y los próximos proyectos están acabando de hacer...
Por los últimos proyectos o los proyectos que tiene en un futuro.
Están acabando de rodar unas películas y luego van a sacar un documental de su vida.
De su vida.
Dijo que ni él sabe quién es, pero bueno, que van a sacar un documental que saldría el año que viene.
Qué bueno.
Y nada, nos estábamos despidiendo de él y
justo se cortó el Instagram.
No nos dimos cuenta de
No nos dimos, sí, se nos fue el salto al cielo. Pues nada, esta ha sido la entrevista.
Miramos por si
se conecta o si está por ahí.
No.
No. pues después le mandaremos un mensaje y dándole las gracias y por colaborar y por hacernos, bueno, las tardes un poquito más amenas.
A nosotros y a quien nos vea.
Y a quien nos vea. Nada, pues daros las gracias, espero que os haya gustado y sobre todo de corazón, que la gente que nos manda mensajes, que ahora mismo no puede venir a la tienda porque se encuentra en otra provincia, que hemos recibido mensajes de que en cuanto puedan vendrán, pues nosotros encantados, estaremos abiertos para todo el mundo.
Y recordar que esta semana abrimos por las mañanas y por la tarde con cita previa. Entonces nos podéis mandar al WhatsApp o nos llamáis o por un privado.
Facebook, tanto Instagram, Facebook o mail. Pedís la cita y sin ningún tipo de
Seguimos tomando las medidas que nos parece oportunas y a ver si poco a poco normalizamos la situación.
Sí, lo hacemos un poquito con sentidiño, más despacio y con buena letra, a ver si todo esto llega a un muy buen fin. Y sin más nos despedimos, espero que os gustara, que os entreteniera un poquito y hasta la próxima. De momento no tenemos ningún...
Bueno, están ahí,
pero de momento tenemos que...
Como estamos también incorporándonos a la tienda, pues intentamos
tenemos
poco a poco.
buscar un hueco tanto para el actor
como para nosotros,
y poder hacerlo todo bien. Un beso y que disfrutéis de lo que queda del día.
Chao.
Hasta luego, hasta la próxima.